what's going on, everybody? The gang is back together. Kyle, Gabe, and myself all on the same screen. Fellas, y'all were about to kill each other before this episode, so I just want to make sure everything's all right. How you boys doing?
We're doing good, man. Just a little friendly banter before the show. Talk, Steelers, Falcons, trash talk. Just the reg, but I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
I'm doing all right. Beat Kyle on a quick argument before the show. It always feels better, right? Leading into a show where you're starting off hot. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't say you won the argument, but I mean.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
All right, well, let's clear the deck. Get ready for some good stuff today. Gabe, you got your picks ready to go for today? You gonna actually win something or
two? I went with two, so you can set up, Matt. You know what I'm saying? Quit hating on your boy. Like I have won some on here. Don't get it twisted. But just with two, one underdog, but it's looking spicy. I'm feeling like it's just free money at this point. It's free money.
Hey man, I'm cashing in every week, but if I keep losing, I told you I'm kicking you off the show.
Kyle, does he have the authority to do that?
No, he doesn't.
Oh, come on! All right, whatever. All right, gentlemen, let's waste no time. Let's break the ice. Okay, college football is over. The NFL is just wrapping up, which means the next big event after this weekend coming up is, well, I guess you could say the Combine, but all leading up in April, the NFL Draft. And I know both of you know a thing or two about mock drafts. They've been coming out regularly, and we have one that we're going to pull up. Got to give credit where credit is due. This one is Gabe, you informed me this is a Pro Football Focus template. But the guy who made it, Joel V. Moran, I hope I'm saying that correct, is not a writer or associated with Pro Football Focus whatsoever.
Yeah, not a lot of mocks out right now other than Mel Kiper, but you ain't gonna catch the gang whacking. We ain't paying for no ESPN Plus for an article.
Dude, $12 a month.
$11.99. Are you kidding
catching
me?
the gang lacking
To read.
Come on, bro.
To read.
I got everything on my phone.
What we look like? Some freckles boys? Like, come on, man.
Yeah, no. All right, boys. Well, I'm gonna throw it up. You guys have it as well. Obviously, quarterback's going first. This one actually has a trade between the Giants and the Browns, if you can't tell. But, Gabe, I'll start with you. What is the biggest thing that stands out to you in this round one mock draft?
So, I'll just start. We can kind of go in order with picks a little bit. I'm going to start with the top guys, like the top, honestly, 5, and I'm honestly surprised that Will Johnson's getting a shout on the Browns. I mean, I know he's a great cornerback. He's the best second best cornerback in the draft, though, to me. So reaching on him over Travis Hunter, and Travis Hunter going 5 to the Jaguars in this draft. I mean, that was personally the biggest shocker in the top 5. Like, I can't imagine taking Will Johnson over Travis Hunter just because Travis has shown he's just as good at cornerback, but also has that potential at receiver.
No, I mean, I completely agree. A lot of people have had this mock draft, and they have Travis Hunter going first overall, depending on who trades for it. But especially a team like the Titans, where, yes, you have Will Levis, but when you have a talent like Travis Hunter out there who can technically play both sides of the ball, I don't know what he's going to do in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Titans also need all the help they can get.
He's just got more upside, plain and simple. And then I don't know, Kyle, if you plan on talking about the guy at 6. If you do, you can go ahead. I know you were shocked McMillan was up there like that.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce his first name, but I'll just call him by his last name, McMillan. I knew, or I know he had a really good year last year. 1,300 yards, about 80-something receptions, 8 tuds. He's good, dude. He's very good, but top 10? He's 6 going to the Raiders. But He did have a 300-yard game to start off the season, 4 touchdowns, had a 200-yard game, had multiple 100-yard games. I like him. Honestly, yeah, I think he does belong in the top 5. The only thing I disagree with is I don't think the Giants and the Browns are going to swap. I don't think so. I think Abdul Carter is going second. I think Giants are getting Shadur, and then Hunter is going to the Patriots. And then my boy McMillan, who I was hating on, I think he's going to the Jags. That's how I would.
Yeah, the Jags are the perfect fit for him. I mean, him and BT might be the new Bengals type offense if Trevor Lawrence can figure it out.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
If they can deal with that coaching staff down there, which is off to a horrendous start. That's you're taking Liam Cohen, who probably has the worst Duval I've ever heard in my entire life.
Duval.
and on top of that, they hire the Bears offensive coordinator, and we all know, how do you mess up Caleb Williams, in my opinion? But no, I think it's interesting that this guy has the Giants and Browns trading. I mean, if I'm the Browns, I'm doing anything to get past Deshaun Watson. I know they have that contract dangling over their heads, but you have to think they have to go quarterback there, no?
To a point. I'll give my take and then Kyle can say what he wants to. But to a point, in this draft, I don't think there's any guarantees at quarterback. So maybe you just take it's a team that needs a lot of positions. So maybe you have a guy in the second round. There's a lot of good quarterbacks in this second, third round range. Maybe they feel comfortable with the Jalen Milroe. Maybe they feel comfortable with a Quinn Ewers. Definitely not with the Carson Beck if he would have entered, bum guy from Georgia. But
he's not from Georgia anymore, and he's not going to the draft. So,
but either way, Ole Miss's quarterback looks like a great prospect. There's a lot of guys that are in that second to fourth round range that I think could be some decent shouts in the later rounds. So maybe that's just the idea they have in mind. You never know.
Yeah, I think so too, man. The Senior Bowl wrapped up earlier this week, and I kept in touch with it just a little bit. And what I saw was Jalen Milroe looked like shit, and Jackson Dart looked very well. So if I'm the Browns, you let Myles Garrett go, or I guess they parted ways earlier this week. You let him go, obviously. You get Abdul Carter, who's like a Micah Parsons 2.0. You get him.
Whoa. 2.0? What?
He's tough, gang.
Explain that. Tough. I know he's great.
Abdul Carter? Are you serious?
I understand, but we're not going to act like explain 2.0.
Both went to Penn State.
Both went to Penn State, and they do the same shit.
Okay, so you're just saying you're not saying he's like an upgraded version, just like a carbon copy.
That's what
he's gonna be better, but he is.
Ooh, better's crazy.
No, I don't know. If he's gonna be better, but he's a stud.
He is. I agree. I'm not disagreeing.
Dude, in that what they play in the Fiesta Bowl, the announcers were just glazing him, dude. You will see him play on Sundays. You will see him play on all this stuff. So he's a stud. I think he's going to. You get Abdul Carter for not a replacement because Myles Garrett's a multiple-time Defensive Player of the Year. Just something to help the defense. You go Jackson Dart in the second. Boom. Your problems are somewhat fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want to mention the big outlier here in front of you. At number 25, the Chargers taking Ashton Jeanty. I know there's been a lot of talk of my Cowboys taking him. Obviously, yesterday, Emmitt Smith came out and said he does not want him on the team. And then there's other people who think he's going to land with the Denver Broncos at 20. But this one has him going 25.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused on that.
Yeah, Matt, first I want you're asking all the questions. Why don't you answer a question? How do you feel about Ashton Jeanty to the Cowboys?
I mean, look, here's the thing. The run game was established in Dallas post-Dak Prescott injury. So I don't think the offensive line is incapable of giving Jeanty the protection and the strength he needs. I think he's a great back. I'm not saying he's going to be, the next best back in the league, but Kyle, I mean, you can talk to this. Bijan Robinson was rated the number one running back in the draft not too long ago. This season, Ashton Jeanty was doing things like I still think he should have won the Heisman. I know I predicted Travis Hunter on this show should have won it, but I know both of you argued for Ashton Jeanty to do it. He's a workhorse. He was doing things at Boise State. All right, let's not act like Boise State was the best college and the best school for him to do all these things in. He could have been at any SEC school. He could have been at any Big Ten school, and he probably would have broken all of the records that he could have. He was doing things at Boise State, and I think he's going to be a great player. You want to talk about a guy on Sundays who's actually going to deliver and make things happen? Jeanty's your guy. If the Cowboys take him at 12, I'm very happy. Because I feel like he's like a Bijan Robinson. He can go into a team like the Falcons were a couple years ago, not 100%, and he can really be the star of the offense moving forward. And you flash back to the 3 seasons that Dallas had, 12 wins in a row. It was a lot of passing game. But then you go back to 2016 when they went 13-3. They were 13-3 because they had the best rushing offense in the NFL. And now if you combine CeeDee Lamb, who, all bias aside, I think he's a top 5 receiver. Anybody can argue with a wall. But you have a top 5 receiver. If Dak Prescott can stay healthy, now you throw Ashton Jeanty in the loop. That can be a very dangerous offense heading into next year.
Yeah, and I wanted to add to that too. I mean, Cowboys seem like a perfect fit for him, but the Chargers do too. Kyle, what team do you believe is the best fit for Ashton Jeanty to go to? Not regardless of pick and everything, what team would be the best fit? Because he's kind of one of those guys that can go anywhere from 5 to 30, and you wouldn't really be shocked.
To be honest, dude, Cowboys. Dude, the Cowboys. Me and Matt lived together back in Florida, obviously, and we got to watch an NFL draft together. Gabe, I think you were at the house. Matt had, he was working or whatever, and he came out for their pick, and it was like, whatever his name was. It was an offensive lineman. And then last year.
Was it Tyler Smith? Or he might have been the year before.
It was Mozzie.
Mozzie Smith, the defensive tackle from Michigan, by the way.
Yeah, so they get Mozzie, a defensive tackle, and then last year they get an offensive lineman. So I think this year, like, you let Zeke go in the offseason, TP's gone. There's no way your 1-2 punch in Dallas is Rico Dowdle and Deuce Vaughn.
No.
Deuce Vaughn is 5'5". Like, there's no way, and no disrespect to Deuce Vaughn. He was a stud at Kansas State. But there's just no way that's your 1-2 punch there. You go Ashton Jeanty. You have a good offensive line. You have other weapons on your offense. Dak's going to be back. I think Jeanty is the move for the Cowboys at 12. You said Broncos at 20. I like that, but I think the second best receiver on the board is going to be available, and they're going to take Cam Luther Burden. I think right now Cortland Sutton is a stud, but he's not. He can't be a 1, in my opinion.
And we saw Bo Nix have an incredible rookie season. And after the first couple of weeks, I'm not gonna lie, I was not sold on Bo Nix.
No picks, dude.
Yeah, right. Especially the game against the Ravens specifically, that was a nightmare for them. But after that, Bo Nix had a phenomenal rest of the season, and if he can get a number 1 target there in Denver, regardless. I mean, they've got a good defense. They have Sean Payton calling the plays. Denver could be scary regardless of who they go. But I just want to talk about why every year the Cowboys have to take an offensive or defensive lineman. Like, why? I mean, look, I was lucky, right? I had 2 years in a row where they took Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb. But every other year it seems like they're and I'm not saying that they're bad picks. Linemen are very important. They took Zach Martin with the 16th overall pick back in 2014, I believe it was. And then, Tyler Smith is panning out well. They drafted Travis Frederick in 2012, 2013. He was a great center. Like, they picked the right guys, but you can only pick the right offensive lineman for so long. You need a workhorse in the backfield. And, guys, you know this. Guys like Gianti do not come every year in the NFL. Or, I'm sorry, in college. Like, you don't see talent like that year in and year out. So, you have the 12th overall pick. I'm looking right now. The 11 teams in front of them, running back is not their number one need.
Or any need, honestly.
Or any need. I mean, the Jets have Breece Hall.
Carolina
Panthers have Chuba. They have Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba drafted Jonathan Brooks. Saints are fine. Bears are fine, kind of. But they want to get running back.
Niners have CMC. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'm just spitting, but
I think the only team would be because Browns would be second. Would be the Giants, but they don't need a running back.
Right, like I'm saying I'm saying number one need.
I forgot Josh Jacobs isn't a Raider anymore.
Well, here's the thing: the Raiders traded Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
So I believe in my boy Zamir White. I believe in him.
Right, but like you got to pair him with somebody else.
Zamir White, get the fuck out of here, Kyle. Talking about Zamir White.
He beat the Chiefs. He beat the Chiefs, not the Raiders. He beat the Chiefs.
Zamir White is a legacy backup. I'll just say that.
But no, looking at the 11 teams in front of the Cowboys, dude, no one needs a running back.
Clear. You clear. Like, you guys should get him, and if you don't get him, you'll regret it because I think he's a stud.
I know.
Can I mention real quick, not to go too off topic, but Omarion Hampton is a stud from North Carolina. This guy doesn't have him going in the first round. I think he could sneak up in the first round, even though he's a running back. He's that good. So just a little shout out. You guys could potentially get Omarion Hampton early second or trade up in the late first. That could be another guy.
I know, but it seems like every year, like, Kyle, you've watched a draft with me. Like, I have somebody I want. Like, when they took Tyler Smith, I wanted Jordan Davis. And look what Jordan Davis is doing for the Philadelphia Eagles. Then the next year, I wanted Nakobe Dean. And Dallas had a pick before him. They take Mozzie Smith. Look what Nakobe Dean is doing for the Philadelphia Eagles. Like, I'm like, dude, get me in a draft room with Jerry Jones and whoever the fuck the coach is. Because I will tell you who we need. And this year, if they don't go Genty, like, I unless they take somebody else who's just like, you have to take him there or trade up or whatnot, like, please, Jerry Jones.
Well, this could transition well. Kyle brought it up. Luther Burden III going to 20 in this mock to the Broncos would be a great fit. But I think he's a guy that could sneak up in that 10 to 15 range. People be like, holy shit, what the hell? Because there's really, to me, only three. I think there's three receivers, and the top two are clearly top two. And it's obviously McMillan, Burden, then Emeka and Buka. I think Burden could end up sneaking in that range where Cowboys, Dolphins, Colts, and even potentially the Falcons could be all looking at a guy with that much talent. And if they fall in love with him, they could get a receiver. So don't sleep on Luther Burden potentially being a hit for your Cowboys or for any of those teams in that range.
No, I definitely hear you on that. But my biggest thing is like, all right, obviously, what did Dallas do this past offseason? What was the biggest thing that they regretted doing? And I'm not going to say the Dak Prescott contract.
Not getting Derrick Henry.
Bingo. They didn't get Derrick Henry. We all saw what Derrick Henry did.
He wouldn't have done nothing for y'all this year.
But he would have done more than Rico Dowdle and Deuce Vaughn.
He would have had more yards than them.
Rico hoops a little bit. Y'all hoeing Rico a little, like.
Dude, I told you post-Dak injury it was fine, but like you can't. No. Like
Yeah.
Derrick Henry would have helped a little bit. So you clearly saw what you regretted. Now you have a chance to get a guy who's a lot younger than Derrick Henry and still has a lot of skills and talent that will help you win football games.
Yeah, more than likely, the Cowboys could have been looking forward to this draft because running back is stacked in this draft. It's tackle and running back. It's stacked in this draft. Edge rushers as well.
And we took a tackle 2 years ago. Like, please.
Yeah. Matt, your Cowboys are cooked, buddy. I know this is getting you in a rant phase, but Cowboys are cooked. You're just gonna have to move on with your life, man.
Dude, I've accepted it, all right? But,
But is there anybody else on this board, Kyle, you see that you might want to talk about? I mean, Isaiah Bond's kind of a shock. James Pierce all the way at 30.
Honestly, yeah, Isaiah Bond.
That would actually piss me off if the Eagles.
Isaiah Bond, 26. Because he was at Bama the year before, and when he transferred over, I was like, dude, that's gonna be scary. He didn't really do shit for Texas this year.
I was gonna say I think that's way too high for him.
And the fact that he'll be like a dude. I don't even think he's going early second round. He'll probably go mid second round. But dude, Malachi Starks at 27. I don't think he falls that far down personally.
That'd be a good shout. Him and Kyle Hamilton.
That would be so nasty, bro.
I think
James Pierce 30. That's kind of crazy.
That reminds me of what Matt just talked about, like a Jordan Davis falling way too damn far to the Eagles, and they just get another amazing.
I mean, literally, dude, he dropped to like 31, I think.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it was Nolan Smith because you're like, yo, I want Nolan Smith because Nakobe.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Nakobe Dean. Yeah.
I mean, they're the same person pretty much. I mean, they're both linebackers,
both Jordan
nasty.
Bulldogs,
yeah, and for some weird reason, Nolan Smith fell all the way down that far in the draft, and he had a really good combine. And I remember, dude, we're standing there, and you're like, Nolan Smith.
And then Roger Goodell gets up there with the pick. The Cowboys select Mozzie Smith, and I'm like,
who?
I mean, that is what I initially said, but I'm not saying Mozzie was a bad pick, but...
And then the Eagles' next pick took Nolan. Yeah. Oh, dude, that was funny. But James, back to what I was saying, James Pierce going 30?
Nuts.
That's kind of crazy to me. That is kind of crazy to me. And having... I don't think Jalen Walker drops all the way down to 15.
I'd agree with that.
I don't know. I mean, I could just be a Georgia fanboy, but I think he's going to be either top 10 or right outside the top 10. Not 15, though.
He'll be right outside the top 10, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think so too. Anything else crazy?
Honestly, I love the fit. If since recent news, Cooper Kupp's getting traded. Basically, Colston Loveland is a receiving tight end. He would fit with the Rams beautifully. I don't need to go too deep into it. It would just be such a dope ass fit.
He'd be better than Tyler Higbee, the one game wonder for fantasy football.
Yeah. Or my guy Dwayne Allen from Clemson. Sadly, he hasn't been working out like I thought. And Colby. They've honestly had like 4 tight ends that haven't panned out for them. They just use them. But that's another white tight end. There you go, Rams.
Well,
what's the vibes, Matt? We getting into Gabe's gambles now? Come on now.
I mean, dude, I don't want to put the spotlight on you. But,
I need the spotlight on me.
No, you do. All right.
Gotta plug in my computer real quick.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. Let's transition, shifting gears. Let's head into Gabe's Gamble. Alrighty, Gabe. Kyle and I are both here, sitting, listening. Kyle, you got your DraftKings, your FanDuel, your betting app out, ready to go to see if Gabe is legitimate or not?
Yes, sir. I'm a underdog fella, so I'm an underdog.
All right, Gabe, I'm on FanDuel, getting ready to punch in your parlay. So
Oh, it's just a two-fighter. So we're going calm today. Nothing
okay,
crazy.
all right,
But both these odds are looking beautiful. Both these odds are looking beautiful.
all right,
And I'm going to explain why.
all right. Who you starting with?
I'm starting off with Tom Nolan. Tom Nolan, the boy from Australia. You know what I mean?
Oh, wait,
First in the Russian. Tom Holland. Nolan. Sorry, I keep saying Holland like Spider-Man. Tom Nolan from Australia. I mean, he's 8-1. He's still a little green in the game, but he's had now 4 fights in the UFC, and I think he carries his record a little bit more than the Russian guy he's fighting. Should I try it, boys? Should I even try the name of the guy?
No.
Yeah, I'd probably offend somebody. But the Russian guy he's fighting is 8-4. They're both on 2-fight win streaks, so that's kind of how the UFC matches guys up off the win streaks, like you can see in the graphic ahead of you. But I truthfully believe Noland is just a better fighter, and he's going to be able to beat those guys. His one loss came in the UFC to a guy that's 15-5, but that guy's a solid fighter. He's beat some good guys, lost to some guys, and I think it was more of a fluke fight from a young fighter. Plus, you got to add in the age factor. Kyle, what would you rather have? A guy that's 24 or a guy that's 33?
24.
Exactly. Like, I'm not saying this guy's aged out. 33 is not too old in the UFC, but you just have to look at the statistical advantages of being a young guy, and especially with having 3 less losses on his record. I think Nolan gets it done. The guy that he's fighting got submitted by Chase Hooper. A lot of guys might know. But I think Nolan should take this one to the ground when he normally doesn't. Both of these guys are stand-up fighters, so they'll probably swing like crazy. But if Nolan introduces a little bit of mixed martial arts, throws the wrestling in there, I think that he comes away with a pretty solid victory. Plus, boys, what do you like? I see the dogs on your hat, Kyle.
I love some dogs.
Who doesn't love a dog, Matthew? Come on. Plus
Hey.
one dog.
I literally watched a movie called Underdogs the other night.
So what I'm hearing is go Tom Nolan finishes higher. Slam the higher. Because underdog is weird. I can't do like straight money line or.
I will say, Kyle, this guy has a lot of knockouts in his 9 fights. But
there is a big multiplier for knockouts for Tom Nolan.
That might not be a terrible shout. But at the same time, I feel like this one goes to decision, to be honest. So I'd take the higher than on rounds, and I'd let it ride off that. Because this is lightweight, so you see a little bit more decisions at lightweight recently, especially. One of the best weight classes in the UFC. But these guys are both fresh, very green in the UFC. So realistically, it's a tough one to match up, and that's why the odds makers basically have it close to a 50-50 fight as possible. I mean, honestly, I feel pretty strongly. That's an early one in the card, too. It's nice to get your one fight in early, one fight in a little bit later. So that's my one in the early amount. And should we just go ahead to the second one already, boys? Or
Let's do it.
Go ahead.
All right. This one, Talison Texera. That's the big boy on the left-hand side of the screen. That is my gamble. And is it much of a gamble when you're versing a guy like Justin Tafa? Justin Tafa, I love him. I love Junior Tafa, his twin or his brother. I love those guys as fighters in the UFC. But they make mistakes. They fight like a street fight every single time, and it pisses me off as a guy that's a fan of them. So I feel like this is free money. Talison Texera is 7-0. Only one fight in the UFC, and it was on the Contender Series, boys, the Dana White Contender Series, where they bring him in and fight on the spot with like just 5 weeks camp. And from that performance, I was impressed. I marked his name down in the bet slip. Watch out for Buddy. Guess how tall this boy is?
I was gonna say he looks like a tall.
6'7", Matt.
Okay.
6'7". You don't hear about that. There's a few, like 3 fighters who've been in the UFC that tall. He's a big boy. Justin Tafa's going to try to come in close. I don't think he is able to get in close enough to knock him out. It's a heavyweight. Anything can happen. But I think at -3, 135, that's a huge pull for a guy that hasn't fought in the UFC. I think, honestly, more people would know about him if they knew about him type thing. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the guy that's 7-0 beats the guy that's 7-4 if you really just want to dumb it down like that. Newcomer to the UFC, KO prediction.
No, dude, but like height, I feel like if you're too tall in the UFC, that can sometimes be a disadvantage more than an advantage. No.
It can, but against the right fighter, like Justin Tafa is going to get in the pocket with him, and he's going to try to knock him out. I just think Justin Tafa is too wild, and if he doesn't knock him out right away, guess what? Taliesin's just going to find that opening. And in the Contender Series, he had a dogfight. Could have been knocked out, but he wasn't. He stayed in that dogfight, stayed precise. Boom, clean right cross right to his face, knocked Buddy out, got the contract that day.
I don't know, dude. I don't know how I feel about punching upwards.
Well, he punches down.
Well, I'm saying like all of his opponents. Like, would you rather punch up or punch down?
Punch down because you can't really. So punching down is hard if you're in boxing, but in UFC you have knees. You know what I mean? You have uppercuts, like you have elbows. You can get the clinch.
Yeah, I guess knees. You know, if you bend your knees and you can actually get down and maneuver around. Yeah. Okay.
Come on, man. That's what he does. He uses his knees really well for his length, which is what you got to do. And then he uses those uppercuts, those straight hands, uses that range, finds that distance. I think he's going to be talented. I don't think he's world championship level, but he's young. Who knows?
For real. Kyle, look like you're busy punching in that parlay, or?
Actually, I am. I was about to get some advice. So this 2-leg parlay you got, it's like I think 12x, 13x. We like that. Like that, but we want that. We pushing towards that 90, 100x. What are some 2 other banger picks?
Crazy.
You want some sleeper deepers?
Dude,
He wants the juice.
What's crazy is if I made 8 picks, I have a 500x.
That's
I put
juice.
$1, I win
Well,
500.
Kyle, I got one for you.
Okay.
Bonus.
You can
Bonus pick for you at home.
Come on, bro. I got Dricus du Plessis by knockout.
Dude, that's so crazy. I picked it first, and then I was like, nah, I believe in Sean.
Dricus du Plessis by knockout. And then you could choose, honestly, either one. Choose a Brazilian out of.
Dude, I did
Shocker.
Zhang knockout.
Shocker.
I did
It's
Zhang
Brazilian.
knockout.
Matt, it's an undefeated strategy. And fun fact, one of the Nurmagomedovs lost to a Brazilian last week. So talk to me.
Bro, is
Hey,
Willie
dude,
Zhang?
You got a fetish. You got a fetish
Zhang.
for Brazilian
Is Willie
fighters.
Zhang not going to get a knockout against Suarez?
Not gonna lie, not touching that bitch.
Not touching
Not
Zhang?
I'm not gonna lie, I have no clue how it's gonna go. And I feel like, honestly, Zhang is a good shout. But it scares me because you haven't seen Tatiana fight someone Zhang's level for real. Like,
Well, then just one more banger for the people at home. I need a hood classic, dude.
a hood classic is a hood classic. Honestly, the one I like the most is Gabriel Santos. He's fighting Jack Jenkins,
Okay.
and I like him as money line. Honestly,
Damn it, he doesn't have money line. Should I just do what is he gonna do?
yeah.
Knockout?
If you got prize picks or something, I honestly. This is a tough one. It could go either way. I think this one probably he gets this by KO. I think he
Dude,
probably gets this.
$15 to win 1,500.
Yeah, we lit, boys. And then when all these
That's
hit,
bold.
so when Kyle wins the 1,500, tell him to wire me. Just saying.
How much?
Dude,
how
that's
much?
nuts.
Hey, that
How
was just
much?
for fun, y'all. That was just for fun.
You get
the 2
15.
picks I'm rocking with is what I'm sticking with. So don't get it twisted. Don't
Word.
hold me accountable for everything else.
Yo, how much does he have to wire you if he wins? The 15 bucks?
Out of 1,500?
Yeah.
Nah, he at least got to throw me 100, gang. Like that's
Nah,
all.
nah. It's 15
Nah.
for the initial bet. Maybe you can do.
Nah, that's not how I do it, bro. If you give me the whole slip and you're just like, hey, ride this shit, bro. Throw some money on it. Win. I'll slip you 150.
See, but the 2-pick is free,
Ooh,
Matt.
He's being generous.
The 2-pick is free. That's free money.
That's true.
The extra sauce is extra sauce. You know what I mean?
Dude, I'm putting the money in my account as we speak right now.
And that
dude.
is what you should do, folks. If you're
Put the money in your account.
money.
Hold on. Wait, let me wait till
betting
the
slip, bro.
Yo, I just got paid today too, boys. I mean, yo, this is what you do right here. Let me
Kyle
see.
Litt, man. Kyle Litt. If you want to make some money, gamble with Gabe, man. That's all I can say, man. Come on.
Dude, I have 3 knockouts on this slip.
It's gonna happen.
Dude, when does this happen? Tomorrow night?
Saturday.
Tomorrow night.
Let's go, dude.
Yeah. Tomorrow night for the people.
Let's go! Come on, boys. Let's get
Yeah,
hype.
Let's get it. Now, I'm with you, Kyle. I feel like this is free money.
Bro, honestly, I probably wasn't going to watch the card, but now I'm going to watch it.
Got to. We don't
Dude.
need this negative energy around here.
Bro.
Gambles, man. Come on.
Nothing can bring me down. I lost probably.
No, dude,
100
I'm
bucks
with you on your
last
2
week.
picks. He's getting a little bit too excited.
Yeah, he is getting a little
about,
saucy. Huh?
about the little spice.
he
on top.
is wilding a little bit.
Can't-
No,
can't
no,
do
no,
that.
no. I'm due. I'm
due.
so fucking
Oh yeah,
due.
he's due. Yeah,
I'm
don't
so
they
fucking
all
due.
say that? They all.
I am.
Dude, no. Last week, for the AFC Championship game, I threw fucking $20 to win 1,700. I needed Devontae Smith 1 more catch, and it cashed, and did not get it. He had 4. Cause, dude, there was one. Oh, hold on. I'll tell this later, guys. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Make that slip. Make
Yep.
that slip. It's gonna
Free dough. It's free
I'll see
dough.
y'all.
On game.
Peace.